Are you wanting to submit multiple service levels to PSA, but either overwhelmed, nervous, don't know how, or have questions? Well, in this video, not only am I going to show you how, but I'm going to take you step by step from beginning to end. So without further ado, let's get started. What's going on, y'all? Dan here with Average Joe's Nostalgia. Thanks for joining me today. In this video, we're going to be going over the step-by-step process of submitting multiple service levels to PSA from beginning to end. So let's start off with step number one, and that's preparing your cards to ship off to PSA. There's a bunch of different grading companies. The main ones are PSA, Beckett, and SGC. And they have 4 different criteria that they grade their cards based off of. Some of them emphasize one more than the other. I don't know all of them because I'm only submitted to PSA. But those 4 pieces of criteria are centering. So is the card centered in, is the picture, I'm sorry, the player centered in the card. So that's top, bottom, left, right, and that is front and back. And so I just have a little example for you here real quick of this hockey card. So you can kind of see, I guess this would be your right, left. It's a little off on the sides. Top, bottom looks pretty good. Then on the back, sometimes it's kind of harder to tell back-wise because there might be weird designs that you can't really base a left, right, top, bottom off of. But here you can see that the back looks pretty good. So that's centering. And as far as preparing your cards, there's nothing you can do about centering. It's just how it comes off of the press. So that's centering, number one. Number 2 is edges. Certain cards will have different problems with chipping on the edges. In particular, Upper Deck, hockey, among others, have terrible issues with chipping. So you'll want to be paying close attention to that when you go through your card. Some, like the Bowman Chromes and Topps Chrome and stuff like that, you really won't have those issues. But that is something you will run into with just different cards as you're going through. Number 3 would be surface issues, or your surface, excuse me. That's the surface of the card, front and back. So you can have anything from scratches to dents to stains, dimples. All these things can actually, if you know what you're doing, mostly be fixed, taken care of. But that's a whole nother video that I'm not going to go into. But really, the long and short of it is, with the surface, no matter if you get your cards from eBay, whatnot, Facebook, card shops, card shows, buying packs, buying boxes, or getting into breaks, however you get your cards, you're going to want to check the surface. Even fingerprints can affect the grade. And so at a bare minimum, what I have is a microfiber towel that I use. And at the least, blow your hot breath on it and wipe it off. And you want to make sure when you're wiping it, that you're not doing this, right? Because you could catch that edge, or you can catch the corner and damage it, ding it. So you're always wanting to go with the flow. So out, away, away, up, up, down, down. That's what you want to do when you're wiping that off. I do, however, though, had come across a little while ago some amazing products from Kurt's Card Care. This is called this card spray. And I use this, and I'll spray a little bit on a semi-rigid, and I'll get a little cotton round and spray it on there, dip a little bit, and just wipe off, and then use that microfiber towel to just fully clean off and get rid of those fingerprints. That is safe on all modern cards, and then it is safe too for vintage, but you can't do the wiping method I'm talking about, and also vintage doesn't get those fingerprints on it. And then number 4, last but not least, is corners. And PSA values those the most, for sure. They are wanting 4 90-degree angles, very crisp. And they're also wanting to make sure that there's no whiting on it and there's no dings on those corners. Okay, so now that we're aware of the 4 pieces of criteria that grading companies look for when they're grading cards, let's go ahead and jump into actually an example as if, you bought this off of eBay and you wanted to take it out for grading. So a lot of times your cards will come already in a penny sleeve. and a top loader. And sometimes these can be really hard to get out. I also kind of makes me a little nervous to spread it open and reach my fingers in there. So this one's a little easier, but some of them are a little harder to get into. So this is just a little hack. But what you're gonna want to do is, if this is the opening right here, hold it sideways like this, and you're gonna want to just hit your fist. And see, eventually that card comes out. And to me, that just feels like a safer way, instead of reaching my fingers in there and possibly, you know, chipping the edges or getting the corners or whatever. But yeah, so we get that out. And again, we're looking at all that 4 criteria. So this is going to be not that great of a camera angle. But I'm just going to go through that, like, blowing the hot air method, and getting rid of the fingerprints, but just, and a lot of times, man, I do have a penny sleeve. Here we go. So you don't get any more fingerprints. I'll like blow and then just like wipe half of the card. And like I said, always pushing away, side, 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 side. And then if you need to, you know, just rotate, blow. And then you're gonna wanna get that other half. And then you're gonna go ahead and, you know, repeat that process just on the back side. And one thing I actually do really recommend too, for you, and it's super cheap. It's like, I think I paid 15, 20 bucks on Amazon for it, but it's a jeweler's loop. It has a light, which is really cool, and it's a magnification of 10. So what PSA, and I mean, at least no PSA, and it could be all the other grading companies too, but they inspect your cards at that magnification. So I like to, I guess, see what they're seeing, you know, and you're able to pick up a lot. Like a lot of times, if you just look at a card with the naked eye, you don't see those, you know, those blemishes, maybe those scratches, or a little bit of whitening on the edges. So that that is what I recommend for fully looking at your cards. So after we've gone through all those 4 things, right? The centering, corners, surface, and the edges, and I say, all right, this card is awesome. Let's package it up and get it ready to send a PSA. So they are wanting that card in a penny sleeve, all right? And I recommend, like this penny sleeve I have here is a little small, and it drives me nuts, like thinking I might catch a corner and it like whitens. So what I use, are actually, these are a little bigger, a little thicker, but the measurement is 2.5 by 3.5. And there's more than enough room to get your card in there and not worry about hitting those edges. Because again, that would just absolutely drive me nuts if I've got some very expensive card that looks amazing. I go through all the trouble fixing it up, and then boom, trying to put it in that penny sleeve, ding, get that ding in white, and then there it goes from a 1009, and it's, the value of it is like a fraction of what it could have been. Okay, and then penny sleeve or card in the penny sleeve into a semi-rigid, and all these things you can find at a great price, Amazon, or, you know, actually better yet, like go visit your local card shop, support local. But if not, Amazon does have all this stuff available, and they also have like these things at Walmart and whatnot. So now that we've got that all packaged up, we're gonna go through actually getting on the PSA app and creating a submission. I'm not gonna be submitting this card. This was just for an example. Neither am I gonna be submitting that. But I will be using a real life example, and I will be using the screen recording. So let's stand by for that. Oh yes, and before I forget, I did have one more little trick for when you're preparing your cards. Sometimes the cards will get like on little corners, a little bit of like, it's almost extra card. It's like when they were cutting them on the line or however they do it, you know, it just like left a little bit of like too much cardboard there. And a lot of times it's super easy to get off, but I get nervous about, you know, trying to use my fingers to pick it. Well, painter's tape. I found this trick online, and you'll just take a little piece off here and kind of just get it rolled up a little bit. Roll it up, and you'll just like very lightly, you know, dab it a little bit. And a lot of times that'll Get rid of that extra, just little bit of cardboard that got left there that didn't get like 100% cut all the way through. All right, so now that you've prepared your cards, it's time to create a submission. So we're gonna open up our PSA app. And if you don't have an account yet with PSA, you will need to create one. Whether or not you become a member is up to you, but you will need to create an account. So on the bottom here where you see it says scan a card or cert, you're gonna click on that. And for the purposes of this video, I'd normally scan the cards, but I'm gonna enter it in manually just because I'm screen recording and it's just easier. So you click on that magnifying glass on the bottom there. And so I'm wanting to grade a Jaden Daniels Silver Prism. All right, and we'll search. And as you can see, I'd already like searched it up. But we're gonna click that. And then we're gonna go ahead on the bottom and click grade. And here you actually do have the option. I don't know if you see to the right of, the title of what the card is where it says quantity. You can click in there and like raise it up or, adjust it to whatever you have. But I only have one, so I'm going to save that. And I have a couple more cards, actually the same card, 2 of them, but I will click on scan another item. If you just have the one, you just click on view cart and you just proceed from there. So I'm going to scan another, and again, I'm going to enter it in manually, and I do, again, had already entered it in, but I'll do it anyways. Ivan Demidov, and the number is 205, and it's his young gun. And don't worry if, like, for whatever reason, you're having a hard time finding out, like, what the name of the card is, or it's just not pulling up. You can enter it in manually and just get it close, and they have folks there at the grading companies that actually, like, research the cards to make sure that they're grading the correct one. So I'll click on that, click on grade. And I do have, like I said, I have 2 of them. So I'm raising the quantity to 2, pressing save. And so now that I don't have any more, I'm going to go ahead and click view cart and proceed to review. And I'm actually okay. So here you have the different service levels. There's obviously different prices for longer to shorter turnaround times. And there's also max insured value, which is a whole other thing that I won't get into in this video because it could be a little complicated and hard to explain. But I do want to change the service level on the Demidov. Like I said, I'm good with having that Jaden Daniels be that, $32.99 taking 75 days just because I'm in no hurry to get it back. I would like, though, to get the Demidovs back a little bit. So you actually, you manually click on that Demidov. And you can click change service level. And I think I'm good with the value plus. I'm going to do the 45-day turnaround. So I'll go to save. And then now, as you can see, it's showing the Jaden Daniels is going to be the 75 days at $32.99. And then the Demidovs are going to be 45 days at $49.99. So now that I'm done there, I'm going to go ahead and click on proceed to checkout. And this here is where you can decide what you want to do. They used to actually have an option of purchasing shipping through them, to them, but it looks like they don't have it anymore. Either way, I always like to ship it on my own, or there's like events you can drop them off at. I've never done it, but I ship on my own. And then here, after service, so this is after you... they're done grading and they're asking you, what you want to do with the cards. So you can either have them sent, the first option is to the vault, which is what it sounds like. It's a vault where they hold your cards, and you can just have them stored there. You can have them shipped back to you from the vault, or you can have them posted on eBay to sell from the vault. And that takes a little time. It takes about a week and a half for them to like get it to the vault to be able to, choose options from there. And then there's the option of auctioning all the items on eBay. I tend to prefer this one, except for if I notice that, auctions on eBay are kind of low. There's sometimes I like to just send them to the vault, and then I can actually do like a buy now. Because if you just send them straight to eBay, like you only have the option of an auction, which I wish they'd change, but they don't. There's only the option of auction if you send them directly to eBay. And then there's obviously, you know, on the bottom there, you have the third option, which is ship the items back to you. And so what I think I will do is send my items to the vault. I'm going to change my card information there real quick. And okay, and so now you see here on the bottom, you have the service level, you have insured return shipping, which when I ship these, I'm going to box them all in the same box. So I'm only paying for one shipping label, which is great. You save on a little shipping, sending multiple services. But when you send, or when they send the cards back to you, long story short, if you have multiple service levels in one submission, they're going to charge you for each service level. So if I had 5 different service levels here, I would be charged the insured return shipping on 5 different times. So each level would be charged that insured shipping. It's unfortunately, there's no way around that. It's just how they operate, which is neither here nor there. I wish they wouldn't do that, but that's all right. It is what it is. So from here, I'm going to go on the bottom now that I've chosen all my things and create submission. Hit accept and create. And here you are ready to print. So you're going to print all your documents. I will get those printed out and then we will move on to the next step. One thing I glanced over and just wanted to mention when I went to go print out my forms is this. So when you hit that create submission after you've filled out all the things that you know, service level, payment, and what you want to do before and after, this screen is going to pop up. And so you're just going to want to click on each one of them and just go through and print them. So yeah, I just thought I would mention that. So let's get on to the next portion. All right, so now that you got your cards already and your submission created, let's go ahead and move on to the very last step of sending your cards off to PSA. So what you're going to want to do is grab your forms. I have my forms for each service level. So this was the Demidov. And then we have my forms for that lower service level, which was the Jaden Daniels. When you get these forms printed out, in the back is going to be actually your copy. Everything else goes to PSA. So I will pull those out. It says customer copy on the top of the paper, just as an FYI. All right. And so these are all going to be, again, multiple service levels packaged together in the same box, but you do need to at least separate the service levels in the box. So I have my paperwork for, we'll do Jaden Daniels first. And so what I like to do is just get those forms folded up into 4 quadrants, 2, and then final. So it's almost like the size, you know, matches, it's pretty close. And then what you're going to want to do is you need some rubber bands, and you can either use just cardboard. You can cut them to kind of like to size to give them a little more added protection. There's also other little cardboards here, and they also do make some awesome stuff called Ding Defend, which you can get these on Amazon. I think they're a little harder plastic. I don't buy these. I just, when I buy cards, sometimes folks send them to me to protect the cards, which is great. So I always reuse them. So yeah, we'll get the card in between, and then we will take our paperwork. All right. And we will go ahead and just get them kind of fastened with rubber bands. I don't like to make them too tight because it just makes me nervous that I might, you know, bend the cardboard and the plastic and in turn bend the card. Maybe it's just OCD, I don't know, but that's just me. You do as you will. But yeah, we package them up like that, and then shame on me, I'm sorry, I actually normally put bubble wrap around this. I don't have it, so I'll, you know, get bubble wrap. I mean, the long and short of it is get bubble wrap to do extra protection. I do have some bubble mailers that I'm just going to slip this in and then put it in the box. But then, yeah, so we'll repeat the process. Same thing with our Demidov. We'll get those protected with those ding defenders and rubber bands. And just a side note too. So here we have, I don't know if you can see it, but it says, you know, the card here, Demidov, and the quantity too. But say for instance, you know, at this service level, I had, you know, say I had 5 different cards, right? So it'll list it from how you entered them. One, this, you know, the first card, second card, third card, fourth card, fifth card. Well, what you're gonna wanna do is, as you stack them, you wanna make sure that those are in the order that this list is. So say that first card is Demidov, I'm gonna make sure the Demidov's on the top, so I'll grab that, put it face down, all right? And say this next one is the Jaden Daniels, I decided to send it in at that service level, I'm gonna put that one behind that one, and so on and so forth. That's how you're gonna wanna go ahead and get those prepared. So we'll do that real quick. Get that, fold it up. And also just a little hack too, and whether or not this is true, I can't confirm or deny. It's just kind of the rumor going around the water cooler. But the rumor is, if you are sending in that lowest service level, so the Jaden Daniels, and you're wanting to get it graded faster, to send it in with a higher service level in the same box. And the reasoning behind that is that when you get your little barcode on the box, when it gets to PSA, they scan that to see what is in the box. If they just scan that box and they see that lowest service level, which is at like the 75 days, they're probably gonna take their time getting to that box, you know, giving preference to, you know, the boxes where folks are paying a little more to get it back faster. But I personally can attest to, I think the last 3 times I've submitted cards, I have had the bottom service level. So like that Jaden Daniels, that price point, and it actually used to be cheaper. They just raised their prices, but it's good for this, you know, the industry, I guess. The more it costs, the less people want to grade. And so probably less that's out there that are higher grades, and, you know, therefore price goes up, right? But yeah, I forget where I was going with that. But yes, so I'm sorry, I can attest to the fact that I have submitted the last 3 times that lower grade with a higher service level, excuse me, not grade, but service level. And they've almost immediately, within a day or 2, gone in to hit the order prep and then research and then hit the grading floor. So I do recommend that. So what you're gonna wanna do now, you know, we'll just pretend that these are all in bubble, you know, wrap and super protected, but we're taking both of these and we're putting them in our box securely, right? So we're gonna get that in there good. Get it all folded up. And I went ahead and I actually already printed out, purchased on my own shipping label, sending through UPS. And just as a little side note, I'm not sponsored by them at all. I have 11 subscribers. Why would they sponsor me? But I use ShipNerd, shipnerd.com. They're great prices. You can print it right at your house. You don't have to worry about standing in line at UPS. It's already ready to go. Print it on the box. You just say, hey, I'm here to drop this off. They'll ask if you want a receipt. I always say yes, because it's confirmation that someone there has grabbed it. And so you, at least if it gets lost, you can say, look, I have this receipt, I dropped it off, you guys lost it. So whatever insurance thing has to go through. And then last but not least, probably the most important, is this barcode. You're gonna wanna make sure this barcode is on anywhere on the box, just as long as it's on the outside of the box. So anywhere. And this is, like I said, when PSA receives your shipment, they'll scan that barcode. If it is not anywhere visible on the outside, they're probably gonna take their time getting to your box. Don't make that mistake, because I've made that before. And another little thing too, I don't know if I can zoom in and see it, but you see how it says that this box has essentially it has both of those submissions. So the different numbers there. Whether or not you need that part, I don't know why. I normally just have that all as one, but for whatever reason, I don't know. Maybe it's just been a long day. I cut that apart, but I went ahead and taped it back together. Whether or not you actually need this part that says what's in, I don't know. To me, it's just like a mental mind game thing. So I just recommend, having that on there. And like I said, anywhere visible for them to be able to scan. And yeah, that's it. Those are all my tips, tricks. I have had the question asked, I made a video on this a little bit ago. Someone asked, do I need to, two questions actually. One, can I put both submissions into this box? Yes, you can. You can 100% put both submissions in this box. Like I just showed before, like before PSA used to make it a little harder to where like creating this submission, the different service levels together was like a chore. It was like you had to navigate around and it was very tough to figure out. Now on their app, it's just like seamless. I think that was something that people complained about and they fixed it. And it's super easy. And then there was one other question someone asked, and that was, do I need to buy a shipping label for each service level? And the answer is no. Like I want to say that person actually specifically went in and just created separate submissions for each service level. So they didn't do it like together like I did. And even if you do that, you can still put them all in the same box. You're just going to want to go ahead and make sure that you go into your app, you click, I want to package these, two together, and it'll print you out this actual barcode. So that's it. Those are my tips, tricks. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out. I know when I first got started doing this, it was very scary. It was very overwhelming. But since then, it's been so rewarding. I love helping people. I love the hobby. I'm happy to see it grow, and I'm happy to help out anybody that I can. So thank you all so much for stopping by. It was good to see you. Have a good one.